Welcome back, Coach Nation, to another amazing episode to take your business where you want to go. I'm Jason White, Eric Martinez, and today we're going to talk about why your problems are not really your problems. So in light of that, Eric, if you don't mind opening us up in this new beautiful location today about maybe let's talk quality decisions. When I'm talking to coaches, literally I get the same answers when I ask certain questions by most coaches. So when I ask a coach, for example, what is the biggest challenge you're working to overcome right now? Or what's the next step you need to take in your business and what's stopping you? Usually the answers are going to be circled around the same 3 or 4. Matter of fact, would you like to guess what they might be? I'm sure you know exactly what they are.
It's probably what people are thinking right now, right? If I were to ask you, what's your biggest problem? Not enough clients.
Not enough clients. Need more leads.
Need more leads and closing sales.
Need to close. I'm talking to people. No one signs up.
No one signs up. I don't have money. I can't afford to do anything that I need to do to build my business.
Price points are huge.
Yep.
And this actually goes 2 ways. Sometimes it is if they're looking at an investment. And you tell me if this is you, coach. Well, this sounds really good, but I don't want to pay that much.
Yeah.
Or on the other side is when they're trying to figure out how to charge.
Yeah.
Well, I want to charge this, but I don't think anybody will pay, so I'm going to charge this.
Right.
I say this in context because we've talked to a lot of you guys, and without judgment, but to help you guys take that step forward. And I'm talking specifically to the trainers I've talked to who are charging $5, $6 an hour for programming.
Yeah.
Trainers who don't have a program, but if you show up, you could just pay me by session. Maybe I'll even delineate. The way I understand a trainer, to me, a trainer is someone who is in the room and walks you through step by step, versus a coach, which is going to be someone who has a program they're going to lead you through.
Yeah.
A trainer is going to example, a coach is going to lead. There's instances where both are required, but in order for a trainer to be their best and a coach to be their best, it usually comes down to leadership. And the way you lead is dependent on your decision maker, the way you process information. We're gonna dive into your problems. And again, if you resonate with these, the way you charge or the way you invest, don't have the conversion rate, or when you talk to people, they don't seem to buy what you're selling, or in some cases, you just don't have anybody to talk to. Sometimes these are not really your problems. And Eric, if you don't mind, would you take us a little bit deeper on why they're not actually my problem that people don't sign up?
What I like to do is I always put myself in my client's shoes. And we do that all the time as we're making our programs better, as we're making our service better, our offer better for you guys, we're constantly putting ourselves in your shoes. We have talks like, oh, this is where we're struggling, this is the problem. It's like, but that's not really it, right? So everything that we teach is based off of us and our experience and why we've been successful, right? And what we've been building. A lot of times, again, it's really helpful putting yourself in their shoes. So when you're on the phone with them and they're like, no, I'm not interested, what do we typically go and think, right? We typically go to, oh, they're not serious about getting help. Oh, they don't have money. They're just scared. They have all these things, right? But it's more so seeing like, okay, well, what am I doing? What is it about me that's getting in the way? So is it really them or is it me? Where can I improve? Is it my language? Is it my systems and processes? What is it really? And then a lot of times it's really easy to go to the things that Jason's saying, right? I go to, oh, it's just the fact that I don't have enough leads. Oh, it's just the fact that like people are not serious about getting help and they don't think I'm worth this price. What it comes down to, what we've seen help us tremendously is mentorship and being able to make quality decisions that are gonna help further us. A lot of times what's gotten in the way as we were getting brought up, and even just what we see after having a conversation with people every week, a lot of times people are in their own head where you start thinking like, it's almost like instead of thinking like a business owner or entrepreneur, you're thinking more so like a person that's kind of like a government worker, right? Or like a corporate worker. And you're thinking more so on that stable paycheck. Well, does this make sense? No, if I don't have this income, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And I'm not trying to say there's anything wrong with those type of jobs, but we talk about a lot, your mentality has to be different, right? I can't necessarily think as a person that works a 9-to-5 job. That mentality is totally different from an entrepreneur, from a business owner. It's gotta be different. And so the way that I make decisions and the way I think about things and what I feel like I'm able to do, or even what I need to do, is very different versus that individual. Super different compared to that individual. And so when I make decisions, it's more so not like, am I looking at a place of, I can only do this because of lack of this, lack of this, lack of this. So it's scarcity, right? But I can look at things that way, or I can see like, okay, if I want to be able to get here, this has to happen, period. So I need to make this happen. Does this program cost 3 times as much as this program from somebody who's just starting, who doesn't have any credibility? What makes sense? Most people, the majority of people are more inclined to choose that cheap program because all they see is a dollar sign.
Right.
But you as an entrepreneur, a business owner, you're making your decisions not based on that dollar sign. You're making that decision based off of what makes sense to get you from A through Z. And there's gonna be a place of discomfort, but those quality decisions are what actually help you build a business. This is why a lot of people, they're not able to be successful and they can't retain that amount of success because they're so stabilized by fear and thinking in terms of lacking versus thinking of solutions. Right? I'm lacking here, so this is the solution. I'm gonna make this happen, period. I don't have 14 grand to invest in whatever business or program, but if that's what I need, this is what I need to get my business from here to here, I'm gonna do it, period.
If you guys haven't caught this, why this is so important is because the way you process and make these decisions is going to directly correlate to how you lead people making decisions into your program. And it's not to say that everyone needs to make the same decision I would, but everyone needs to process. And the better you become at processing and thinking long game, now you can better have those conversations to help you close those leads or get the clients, right? Because now the conversation is, oh, well, coach, I love your program, but I don't think, I have $3,000 for your 6-month program. And it is, listen, I understand why you're looking at the dollar sign, but let me ask you, when you told me that you wanted to walk your daughter down the aisle, when you told me you wanted to be sure that you were gonna be here for your grandkids, when you told me you wanted to feel like you felt when you were 20, how much is that worth to you? And if you are looking at a dollar sign, are you going to let that stop you from holding your daughter's hand, walking you down the aisle? Because now you're healthy, you're fit, you're apt, you're equipped, you're able. As you lead people, you're helping them process information to make better quality decisions for their life for the long game. As a direct result, you're going to see not just influence, but influence and authority, meaning it's translating into physical means that you can actually help and heal other people with. When you are leading people, they are going to come up against discomfort. They are going to come up against a challenge. That's, in the first place, why they're talking to you, because they acknowledge there's a breakdown and they are hoping that you are the person to help them.
Yeah.
And the better you can lead them, the more certain they're gonna be you are the right coach. You're the person they need to invest with.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they're going to experience what's called remorse. For example, when Eric and I come out here and teach and give everything that we have, it's not from a textbook in an ideal market in what worked 10 years ago, this is how you apply it today. Eric runs a very successful business. I have a very successful business. When we both, and this is what we talk about, quality decisions, right? Relationships, strategic alliances, all the things we talk about. These two men who have been introduced, who are in proximity, but are not in connection. We've heard about each other, but we had to make a quality decision. I remember the first conversation we had was like, oh yeah, so I heard you have a business. Yeah, I do. Oh, I have one as well. Oh really? Tell me more. And it just became a quality decision to connect would lead to, hey, let's have a meeting and see if we can collaborate. If we were gonna collaborate, what are we seeing right now as the need?
Yeah.
And both of us separately had seen the same need. I'm getting inundated by coaches who want to sell me a program, but they've never asked me a question. They don't know who I am. They don't know what I have. That doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
He was facing a very similar action where people are just approaching him. And so when we started talking about how many other trainers are experiencing this and what is the actual solution? Well, let's build some real builders. Let's cut through the noise. Let's align with some of the industry leaders. If you guys don't know Vince, go Google Vince Del Monte. This guy has been operating at such a high level for so very long that we were like, you know what? This is what we do. Who else is in our space like this? Look at this guy, look at this guy. Let's reach out to some of these guys. And by building these relationships, again, all it started with was a quality decision. And I illustrate this for you to show you, what if I had decided not to talk to Eric? Or what if we decided, oh yeah, it's cool, you got a business, I got a business. Well, you train over there, I train over here, we're competition, so let's not collaborate. But getting through all the nonsense, that quality decision would lead to, look where we're at today.
Yeah.
We're at an event with hundreds of coaches, entrepreneurs, people who are business owners, marketers, sales experts. We are servicing clients who are building assets in the fitness marketplace and transforming people's lives. The clients we work with are making money and being fulfilled.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a trade-off. I want to challenge you a little bit. This might not be easy to hear, but just work with me on this. If you were to think about, if you have to, close your eyes, take a breath, sit up tall. Think about 12 months prior to this. So today is April 6th, April 5th, 2022. April 5th, 2021. Do you remember where you were? And you might remember you lived here and you had the business, but emotionally, psychologically, physically, where were you a year ago? For some of you, I already know you were in a much worse position and you have used 12 months to gain and build. And I want to say congratulations. Good job. Keep going. You are crushing it and making it look easy.
Yeah.
But for others, I also know you are in a much worse position today than you were 12 months ago. 12 months ago, I remember certain stresses, certain fears, certain frustrations, certain challenges that are no longer challenges. Today, I face other challenges that weren't 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And I know those of you who are in a better place have new challenges, but those of you who are in a worse position typically are still facing the same challenges you were 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I don't have money, I don't know how to make any more money, I can't bring on any more clients, I don't have a system or a structure in my business, I really love fitness, I really love to work out, I really love helping people, but I'm not able to make a living doing this.
Yeah.
So your passion has now become a stressor in your life.
Yeah.
I remember I can relate to this really well because my first 5 years in fitness, it was just that. It was ignorance on fire. But then my second 5 years, I'm becoming a business owner. I'm taking the coaching, I'm going to the events, I'm networking. And wouldn't you know it, my income's going down and down and down. But it doesn't make sense. I'm buying coaching, I'm getting poured into. But what was happening was all the nonsense was being stripped away from me. And here we are now in our third 5 years. And now we're starting to see huge production. We've worked with multiple $1 million clients. We've worked with 0 to 6 figure earners. And now we're partnering with people who are going to billions.
Yeah.
So to that point, I don't say that to brag, but just to say, when you make a quality decision, you don't know the impact it's going to have.
Yeah.
And that impact is never just on you.
Yeah.
It is always going out. And this is kind of our philosophy, right? No matter who you are or where you go, you need to leave everyone you meet better than you found them.
Yeah.
That is a principle. Now, you don't have to, but there is a consequence for not doing it.
Yeah.
And if you do it, there is a reward for doing it.
Everything that you do is very, very important for your business based off of just making decisions alone. What I want you to take from this is we had to go through so much to be able to find the right people to work with, to be able to find the right mentors, to be able to find the right process.
To find each other.
Yeah. We had to go through a lot of it. And, just like Jason was saying, if we had made the decision to meet and to connect and to do all this stuff based off of something we wanted to do, nothing would have happened, right? As we close this training out, it's really to get you to understand that right now, we don't need you to think about making necessarily the right decisions based off what you think is right or what you think is wrong, but it's just making a decision in general. And I say that because everybody that we've talked to within probably, I would say this last week, but I would almost say just this year alone, probably 80% of people, if not more, are not making decisions in their business. A lot of people are like, yeah, I know I gotta do that. I know I gotta do that. I know. But you're not doing it, right? And that's what's detrimental. So you can tell somebody all day, Jason, I know what I gotta do. I know what I gotta do. You're not doing it.
Why aren't you doing it?
And there's a reason why. And so if you are so suppressed by your fear and the lack of the unknown, you're never gonna progress.
Yeah.
So we want to invite you to make a decision today. It doesn't have to be a gigantic decision. It doesn't, you don't have to utilize your mortgage to,
to invest in something. Yeah.
Right.
Even if your decision is just, I'm going to take myself seriously moving forward, followed by, here's what I'm going to do today.
And commit to it.
Commit. That's it.
If you make that decision, I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to commit a year.
That's brilliant.
If you cannot even handle the small things when it comes to making the decision, anything small, you're not going to handle the big things.
That's real.
You just won't. It's like somebody who invests into a program or hires a coach and they try that method for 2 months and are like, no, this isn't working. I'm not seeing any results. Versus the person that's doing that for a year and the following year, they're making 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever the case is, right? The whole point is I make a decision and I'm sticking to it. This is my decision.
That's Beautiful.
Because what's going to happen when you have a team of people, when you're, just like you're talking about problems changing from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Your problems right now are very small.
Compared to what they will be, for sure.
The amount of debt you have is very small.
Very small.
Right? And so all this that seems like just these huge anchors that you have right now, you need to be able to overcome those things to handle the bigger ones that come, because they will. As you become more successful, as you develop a team of people, as you have employees, whatever the case, you're gonna have other high-level programs. And if within those situations you are like, oh, it's not gonna work, all right, shut down the business, we're done, I can't, it's just like, no, let's troubleshoot.
Yep.
What do we need to do? We don't have the funds to do that. Cool, how are we gonna get the funds?
Right.
Is this what needs to happen? Let's do whatever it takes to make it happen. And now you're thinking differently, and you're no longer in this place of having this anxiety, having so much weight on your back, that you are just in this place of being frozen and you just disconnect from everything. We see it all the time. And this is why a lot of businesses close. And you see that too during the pandemic. I mean, granted, nobody expected, that to happen, but it's a really good example where a lot of business owners, they were unsure how to move because they got so comfortable. And so once they hit, a problem like that they'd never seen before, it was just like, there wasn't a thought of how do we pivot? What do we do now? It's more just like, I can't handle this.
This is a really great point. And as a matter of fact, I want to encourage you all too to say, if you are still in business today, pat yourself on the back because you made it. 30 million plus people shut their doors never to open again, but you're still here. For you evolutionists out there, like Darwin had his way, right? No disrespect, but a bunch of businesses were just taken out of play. So that now that the strong can survive, we're going to find out who are the strong. And that's you. I want to invite you guys to everything Eric's saying. If you can identify, you're like, Eric, what you're saying is absolutely true. Jason, I hear you guys, but I just need help. I need support in perspective. I need to zoom out because the debt I'm looking at looks insurmountable. The challenges I face look overwhelming. If you just need a little bit of support, if some perspective would help you see, oh, you know what? That's actually not a really big mountain. That's just a small hill. This is why we're here. I want to invite you to reach out, connect with us. We will walk you through your challenge to solution. This is what we've dedicated our lives to. Eric runs a very successful business. I have 2 businesses operating right now that are making money while we're here doing this. The reason we're here is to help you do the same. This is not to sell you a program, to sell you coaching. This is to support you. If you need programming, we're gonna have that. If you need coaching, we're gonna have that. If you need friends, we have those too. Like we have all sorts of resources just like you. We wanna partner with you, get in collaboration with you to help you move forward. I heard this the other day. Charlie Munger. It was actually it's an ad. If you guys don't know Charlie Munger, that's Warren Buffett's lifelong business partner. And he was kind of joking with this guy talking about, you see these books by these gurus, how to make 300% on your investment. He's like, you really think the guy who figured that out is trying to sell you books online? And it's just that point. When it comes to making quality decisions, this is another opportunity for you to do that, to take yourself seriously, to connect with coaches who are willing to connect with you. Not a person who wants to sell you a program that hasn't asked you a question, right? But a coach or a person who's willing to say, hey, how can I help you today? What are you going through? Well, let's figure this out. What have you tried so far? What haven't you tried? What are you willing, like having that conversation. And if you didn't pick up on what I did there, the better.